My name is Tuan Chun, TC for short. This area is literally my childhood playground. My mom will always bring me and my siblings to visit my grandmother almost every weekend. So we'll be running around this place. We'll go up to Reed Bridge. We will shout at the boatman as the bumboat go underneath the bridge. One of the game we play, so we'll stand on top of Reed Bridge. Me and my cousins, we will compete at whose speed is the most accurate in landing onto the boat. But landing the boat is like 1 point, right? But if you can land on the boat net, that is 10 points. So there are street operas, usually happen when there's temple celebrations. Part of the stage is actually in the river, alright, the stilts. The opera performance is actually for the gods that is having the temple celebration. Then the stage will face towards that side. And when the stage faces the temple that's nearer to the Reed Bridge, that's where I will get VIP circus seats. I can still remember one of my cousin was mentioning his leg was taken off the window, swinging his legs while he's watching the street opera. Besides being a public toilet, it's also like a landmark. So it's an octagonal shaped public toilet. It's called Poi Kat Liang Lang. But my mom will always tell us, don't go inside. It's adults only. I remember one of our last adventures together with my cousin. We'll visit this demolished warehouse area. Then there is little ponds. And then of course there are little tadpoles. And then we jump from one collapsed column to another. That is probably my last memory of my younger days at my childhood playground as it is in Clarke Quay. Frankly, I feel very happy that my grandmother's block are being conserved. At least the facade I kept. For me to continue to tell stories, the Singapore River is a good starting point for me to tell the foreign visitors the beginnings of the Singapore story. It will always remain my childhood playground.
Come experience Singapore's Civic District as you hop from side to side on one of Singapore's sidecars. Take a ride in a hand-restored vintage Vespa sidecar and experience Singapore's sights, sounds and flavours up close. With the ever-personable drivers and guides, learn fun facts about this historic civic district and how it has been transformed into a vibrant arts and cultural hub in the centre of the city today. Take in the splendour of this historical quarter that is home to gazetted monuments, world-class museums and art centres. It's a one-of-a-kind tour. Come experience the Civic District in a fun way.
You will never find a place like this in Singapore. Even though this place is constantly changing, the kampung spirit lives on. Royal Fragrances is a shop specializing in high-quality bespoke perfumes located along Bussorah Street. My son and I run Royal Fragrances together and we create and sell our own range of perfume and incense products. Our special product is called Bahur, which is wood infused with perfume. What is so special about our Bahur is that we have it made only for us with our special scents and flavors. You will never find it anywhere else in Singapore. The other unique thing about our products is that our perfumes are alcohol free. Like Royal Fragrances, many of the businesses around here have been here for a very long time. I have spent my entire life living and working in this district. Nowhere else will you find a place where the community spirit is so strong.
Every place has a story, every building has a story, or every room has a story.
And that's really inspiring. The story of how Iwa came to be.
Nancha High School was not always Nancha High School.
During my time, it was 南侨女中附小.
When I joined Nancha High School, it was already a mixed club.
What makes the school special?
Everyone was a misfit. There were no cool kids and uncool kids. Everyone was just hanging out together. When you did your alpha, the whole school would be standing around cheering you on. Everybody came out of class.
We worked very, very hard. We spent a lot of time in school. So we really had very, very dedicated and very good teachers.
I was quite naughty in school. But I think the teachers kind of favor the mischievous kids. The prefects are actually all friends. They would come say, listen, the master's going to come through and check all your all means. Everybody would take out their stuff, rush downstairs, give it to the canteen auntie.
From my time until now, it looks pretty much the same.
Where our tutor was our technical lab. The bookstore was actually in the store of where Couture is.
New Baru is in an old space, yet it is totally refreshed.
Coming back, the feeling felt different. Having it as what it is right now, a creative hub, makes me feel like I really came full circle.
It's good that we retain these spaces and tell the stories.
I hope that people can see that old spaces like Nantel can have new life. I think that's really powerful.
When people think about perfumes, they're most closely associated with the big French brands, but cultures that have the most links to the art of perfumery, I would say, are the Arabic cultures and actually the Indian cultures. I'm actually in this trade because of my grandfather. He started a perfume shop here in the 1930s. A lot of what you see over here, we used to just keep it in the back room. You know, it's a messy process, but now people want to see the process more and more. Like an open kitchen, people want to see what happens. By doing it this way, you actually become a part of the process, and you get to choose your ingredients. It's not just a finished product that you're buying, but you've inserted yourself into the process as well.
Something fresh and clean, like, clean cotton, bed linen.
Like clean skin.
Yes,
Yeah.
clean skin. I think it needs a bit more pepper. Bottle it up for me, please.
I hope that people start to see perfumes as an experience rather than just as a finished product that you pick up off a shelf.
Spacey ship.
Singapore is an exciting hot pot of Chinese, Malay, and Indian cultures. And the best way to experience this diversity is fabulous. Oh wow. Boom. Beautiful, insane food. Let's go eat. This is the essence of a Singapore breakfast right here. You've got to break the yolks, mix it up. Now here comes the magic. Look at this kaya toast. So this is coconut jam, little bit of egg yolk, can dip it right in there. Oh. Wow, look at all this stuff in there. Just gonna dip this chicken murtabak into this spicy curry. Wow. Each bite is packed with flavor. It's crispy, it's fluffy, it's just beyond delicious. This is an Indian dish with a Singapore twist. Look at this beautiful bowl. It's a creamy, creamy laksa broth with cockles, fish cakes, laka leaves, and a chili paste that you mix in. And we're gonna try it out. Oh wow, that's a flavor sensation. It's spicy, sweet, a little sour. The cockles give it this really nice fishy flavor. I'm in heaven. Wow. This is a mix of cultures originating from India, and fish head is what local Chinese people like to eat. So when we put them together, it's a fusion. Oh, that curry flavor. It's just a little spicy with a nice tang from that tamarind. Tastes like a clear tomato flavor. Oh, and that's curry heaven. Hainanese chicken rice. You take a piece of this incredibly soft chicken. I can see why this is popular in Singapore. Chili crab, wow. Just look at how soft and delicate that claw meat is. Singapore would not be Singapore without the chili crab. I just can't talk anymore. I just gotta keep going here. Look at all this durian here. That is a must-try, polarizing fruit in Singapore. You either love it or hate it. And for me, it's true love. It has a custardy, really sweet-like essence to it. Oh yeah, all sweet. Singapore, you have been a food paradise. I am beyond satisfied.
Singapore's Civic District Guide Sparky is here to help you find your way around. With some of Singapore's most notable historic buildings and spaces located here, the Civic District has become a place of arts, culture, and lifestyle. Join Sparky on a guided tour of museums, events, and exhibits, and go on an interactive journey through the arts. Embark on an adventure with Sparky and learn fun facts as you discover public artworks nestled amongst the skyscrapers and national monuments. Take a stroll through the scenic parks or take a cultural walk through the district to see some of Singapore's most historic landmarks. And get Sparky's trusted recommendations for the best places to eat and shop within the district. Check out Sparky's video tours if you don't have time to explore all that the Civic District has to offer, or if you're far away and wish you were here. With Sparky, your Civic District Guide, get personalized recommendations, explore art and cultural offerings, learn fun facts, and discover the best shopping and dining spots in Singapore's Civic District.
I grew up in Kampong Gelam. Back then, it was really a kampong. Everyone knows everyone. Each year, during Ramadan, the entire kampong will get together to take pictures in front of the Sultan Mosque after our Eid prayers. Rumah Makan Minang served Minang food, the cuisine of Minangkabau people from West Sumatra, Indonesia, where my grandmother originated from. We specialize in nasi padang, and our most famous dishes is the beef rendang and our signature green balado, which is served in Shangri-La Hotel, Singapore. In the 1950s, my grandmother set up a nasi padang stall at Kandahar Street. The stall was built with wooden planks. Now, almost 80 years later, our current restaurant Rumah Makan Minang sits in a shop house, directly opposite the site where my grandmother's stall used to be. Rumah Makan Minang is still a family-run business today. This place has been my home and my kampong for the last 40 years. There is no other place in Singapore like Kampong Gelam, and it will be our legacy for the next generation.
I don't believe in a shortcut can make something good. Precious is one of my personal brands, and now I start to let it run by all my apprentices. My goal is to bring back the original, how to make a good suit, how real tailors must be. We use the best quality fabric, and also we are using the best interlining fabric.
It takes about 8 weeks to finish a bespoke suit. After taking measurement, we will start to do the pattern drafting. 1 or 2 fitting sessions will be done, and after revising the draft, it will take us almost 80 hours to finish the jacket by hand.
We're trying to get something reach to the customer demand and request what he wants. So in the whole processing, the customer can enjoy very personalized service. Many of the tailors have already get out from the traditional. They find an easier way, faster way to process a suit. Don't care about what is the quality will turn out.
Nowadays, not many people are willing to carry on the craft. It requires a lot of time and effort. I found that tailoring is what interested me the most. In fact, I love the traditional craftsmanship, so I don't wish the craft to die.
We don't believe shortcut can get a good suit. So every steps you have follow exactly. So that's my idea to start the Precious.
As the sun goes down and the lights come on, you want to give people an experience. There was one that actually made someone cry once. That was the first time I've ever experienced that here.
I would drop music from Africa and I play stuff from Latin America. I play a bit of hip hop and I'll move in and out to kind of fit the space. To me, I'm so lucky to have a view like that.
From the time I started work here, this is the one thing that I always marvel at, and I never get tired of this view. The club sound beyond 10 p.m. is always a little bit more mainstream, a little bit more digestible for the people who come up here. Because you not only have tourists, you have hotel guests, and you do have people who want to club. I think there's something for everyone.
I had a lot of good comments from the crowd. Everyone's like, oh, it's really cool to hear music from my country, and C'est La Vie being quite an international destination.
Maison Ikoku is a creative dining restaurant located along Kandahar Street that serves modern Japanese cuisine and bespoke cocktails. To me, food is all about balancing flavor. We're known for our omakase, creative maki, and handcraft sushi and sashimi. My favorite dish is our taco ibi with house-made crispy tacos filled with ama ibi tempura, nori, and kimchi. At our second level restaurant, we're well known for bespoke cocktails. We custom design cocktails for each customer based on their palates. You can also see the wall of NFT where people can buy both canvas and digital art. And over our rooftop, you'll find the best spot in Singapore with a view of historic Kampong Glam neighborhood. Just like the balancing flavor, here at Maison Ikoku, you will also experience the marrying of the old and new.
But it's one of those things where you never actually make the decision to start it. And that was probably the most important part of this whole process, was actually just committing to the fact that I was going to spend years. I didn't know it was going to be 3 years, but I knew it was going to be a long time. And I went through periods of confidence and near depression on this shoot. If you look at something for so long and you spend so much time working on it, you lose all confidence that it's going to be of interest to anybody else. So that's why I guess I was so excited when the film was released and people sort of appreciated the work that had gone into it. So it started to feel a bit more worthwhile again. And that it wasn't so much that I wanted to show off or show people the city growing. I think I actually wanted to see it myself. Singapore's got nowhere to grow. It's not like a lot of places in the world where cities sprawl and get bigger. In Singapore, things tend to get taken down before they get built up. It has to be creative in how it plans for development. And so for me, that's a story. It's like the modernisation of Singapore and just seeing it almost reinvent itself every few years. The way that I wanted to shoot it, I didn't just want to have permanent cameras which would create a very common time-lapse effect where you see a cloud that appears and a cloud that disappears. I wanted the whole film to flow organically. So I had to do a lot of planning and started with about 30 core shots. By the end of the film, it grew to about 70 locations around the city. And then it took a lot of discipline. And it can be a little bit of a lonely existence when you spend 3.5 years working on a project. I don't think, for example, even my wife and my daughter really know how much went into this film. But I really do enjoy being like an outside observer. And even though the techniques have changed throughout all of my films, there's still a sense that it's almost like you're in a separate place when you're looking at the city. So I'm not really getting in people's faces with cameras. I'm more just somebody who's sort of quietly off to the side, looking at the world from a distance.
I remember back in the olden days, our great-grandmothers, doesn't matter we are Chinese, Malay, Indian or Eurasian, they wore kebayas. It was something that united and gave us a shared identity, and I wanted to bring that back. Kebaya by Ratiana is located along the bustling Busra Street, which is home to the historic Masjid Sultan. I wanted to make kebayas elegant, comfortable and feminine. None of my kebaya are mass-produced, and I would say every piece of our kebaya tells a story. There's a lot of history in Kampong Glam. There used to be a lot of tailors and fabric shops in this area. It makes me really happy to share my love and knowledge of Kabaya with my customers and still preserve a little slice of our history.
My interest in vinyl records started when I was a child, when I would listen to vinyl records owned by my parents and my uncle. Mostar Records owns a record store, an independent record label, and a vinyl record pressing label. We are the authorized dealer and the distribution hub in Asia for Third Man Records, which is owned by Jack White from the White Stripes. For the store, I wanted it to be an intimate and welcoming place for people to explore and experience music on vinyl. In 2017, we took the plunge and started our own label to discover and represent local and overseas musicians. We had been releasing our own vinyl records for the past 2 years. Mostar Records is an extension of myself, where I share my passion and experience in this industry. It's a place where musicians can come and perform, where vinyl collectors can indulge in their hobby, and where music enthusiasts can discover new genres of music.
It all started from the day when my father passed me his old cameras, He got interest towards photography. So he said, okay, you want to continue photography, you want to take something, you can have it as my present. And that's the day I started. One of my cousin, he was an artist. The day once camera come in, all the painter who do realistic picture, the portrait picture, everybody lost their job. So based on his profession, cameras are their enemies. Then I said, okay, why don't we do something new? We accumulate all your enemies, put it at one place, and we do it in a unique way what others have not done it. Then he said, it's on, let's try, and that's how all it started. If you take a PGN camera, it took about 8 to 9 years for us to found it. It is designed in such a way that a PGN can carry. I love all my collection. One is world's first button camera. About 100 years back, they can create such a unique thing. There is a button you can put in your coat and they can control it here. The button can open and take a picture for you. See how clever those days the spies were. If you talk about a unique piece, yeah, we do have a machine gun used by Japanese military in the World War II. They use this gun to train the Air Force people. If you see, there is a lens. If you click, you don't get bullets. It will shoot you.
A famous freediver once said that scuba divers dive to look around and freedivers dive to look within, and that really spoke to me. I went to Hawaii, the big island of Kona, and I tried just diving off of shore. All of a sudden, I could hear the humpbacks offshore. So loudly, they was reverberating in my chest. You couldn't hear them from the surface, and you wouldn't have been able to hear them if you were scuba diving. And so I thought, oh wow, this is really amazing. You get these incredible experiences. I should try this. And so that's where I started. I'm Chris. I would describe myself as being post-corporate. I used to work for a company, and now I'm doing things for myself. Freediving can change someone's life, and has changed my life. It is a mind-body discipline. It opens up experiences that are not available to everybody. In fact, only a tiny fraction of the world will ever be able to experience the things that you can see and feel while you're freediving.
I came to Singapore in 2014. When I was looking for a space to set up asphalt, I visited Haji Lane and I fell in love with the place. Kampong Glam for me has such a vibe and I love the interesting mix of people and life here. I started Asphalt back in 2009 when I was living at this time in Switzerland. Asphalt is a sustainable fashion brand. We do not produce fabrics. Instead, we use fabrics that have been discarded by the fashion world. We try to source locally and we work directly with craftsmen and women who specialize in embroidery, in beading, weaving or dyeing. This way, we ensure they are paid the right price for their work. Each of our pieces is handmade and are one of a kind. As a French Senegalese, we grew up in a culture where we made our own clothes. I remember shopping for fabrics and designing my own clothes. Fashion design is something that has always been part of my life, and I'm happy to share my philosophy, my creation with my customer.
The Singapore River to me is life because I grew up near Singapore River, and after 70 over years, I'm still in touch with the river. I'm Thomas Lim. This interview brings me back to my early years. So after school, I was actually looking forward to further my study, but at that time we have to do national service. So that was when I joined the custom way back in 1971. Most of the activities actually is centered around Singapore River. The concentration is all in Boat Quay area. And what you see here is the shop houses here, but they are actually warehouses. So this whole area is bustling with activities. Everybody seems to be very busy. Before Singapore became a container port, most of the cargo that come to Singapore, they are all loose cargo. And then the laborers, they would then hook up the bags. It could be rice, beans, and then they walk on the plank because everything looks like so messy. And that's where the customs has that responsibility. I just hop off the custom boat and we will get our night snacks from the hawkers along the riverbank. Some of you may remember for the older generation at the foot of the 5 trees. So opposite the Fullerton Hotel, between the Cabinet Bridge and the Anderson Bridge, at the foot of the 5 trees. And they actually have very concrete benches where a lot of lovers, that is their meeting point. You know, from our speedboat, we have the searchlight. I'll shine the searchlight at them, and then you see them all jumping out. But it was a little bit of fun. So I still remember on one of those days, you were chasing after a Taiwanese fishing boat. When I was given the signal to jump, a wave came, and there I go. I was very lucky. I managed to float, and a lot of them say the second is your last chance because the third you will never come up. I actually stay in Muhammad Sultan Road, which is actually just the tail end part of the Robertson Quay. What is interesting then the life, so it's about play. Together with my neighbors, we will run to Robertson Quay, and sometimes we find it so interesting, the coolies carrying cargo. There were quite a number of cold storage. Some fruits were discarded. Sometimes we are lucky we get some fruits. For my granddad, at the back of our shop house, we actually rent it out to hawkers where they sell chwee kueh, soya bean. We also provide the service of grinding the rice, grain or the beans into liquid where they cook. Those days, we do not have refrigerators. So you can see that they help each other. For example, if somebody do not have a job, They will try to recommend them for odd job in one of the warehouses. Singapore River is the lifeline for us. Today, this is part of our reservoir now. And those days is our lifeline because that's where trade first started. The working people here today, they are much better off than the yesteryear of working. The Singapore River is life. I grew up near Singapore River, and after 70 over years, I'm still in touch with the river. So to me, Singapore River is part of my life.
The name satay ba means 3 pieces of meat in Hokkien. It is also a play on the Malay word satay. Satay by Yakitori serves BBQ and skewer food with a twist. Our restaurant is along Bali Lane, a popular snack spot in Kampong Glam. This place comes alive at night and has such a vibe. I was trained as an architect but found my passion in F&B instead. Without any prior experience in F&B, I spent 2 years under various BBQ and yakitori chefs to learn the trade from scratch. Although the hours are long and the job is physically demanding, I enjoy meeting people from all walks of life, and some have also become close friends of mine. This is a place for families, friends, colleagues to get together, enjoy a hearty meal, have a drink and distress after a long day.